Hey, what's up? Well, I'm back again. Finally back with another video in the place that I used to like to make videos, and I never thought this day would come. Okay, um, the reason I'm back at the apartment that I wanted to leave so badly in December, which technically I have sort of moved out of the apartment with most or all of my stuff. You know, my stuff is at that house in another state. Um, But for the moment, I am back in Texas at my dad's apartment where he lives by himself now. You know, it looks like a disaster. You know, there were some tornadoes, but to look at this place, you would think there was an actual tornado inside the apartment. Okay. Um, it's just a disaster. And I'm basically here to pack. I'm here to finish packing up because he absolutely downright refuses to do so. Okay, and my mom, you know, it's just so hard on me because I feel like Goldilocks and Little Bear, in that I have two parents that are basically the opposite in every way imaginable. Okay, and my mom painted my nails beautifully, so I'm very thankful for that. And while I wish I could have stayed, you know, for the rest of my dad's employment at her house, you know, which is kind of what she was trying to do, she made me stay for a solid 3 months, okay? 3 solid months, you know, all the way from right before Christmas through St. Patrick's Day, of all things. So, you know, it's just amazing. I've never spent such a long period of time at my mom's house since I moved in with my dad over 7 years ago. Okay, but, you know, I'm just readjusting. You know, I mean, this month is going to be a major turning point like never before. Okay, and I'm loving the time change in that it basically causes my dad to go to work, you know, an hour earlier, although he's not going to work for much longer, you know, but it means that it's still dark and I'm not a silhouette. Okay, and that's a good thing. Okay, what I'd like to talk about first of all is this month is a major turning point. Okay, things are going to change faster than they ever have. And, you know, I guess it's good and it's bad in some ways. You know, the good change is finally living in a house with him. But of course, the bad change is that I will no longer be able to make these videos to anywhere near the extent that I have been. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to continue any videos whatsoever, and talking about the moon every month is going to get old very fast, especially as Mars loses the rest of its visibility. And so it's going to taper off. Unfortunately, just like so many others, it's going to taper off. You know, once I've said everything I really want to say, you know, so many times over that it's ridiculous. You know, there's just nothing else that I can do but stop making videos. So unfortunately, the end is nigh. And it's been a good 3 years. You know, I'm grateful for that I've never been caught in 3 years since I started making videos. But, you know, I guess all good things must come to an end. And I guess if and when I'm finally able to stop making videos, perhaps I'll find some healing from these obsessions. Because, you know, honestly, the videos are what are keeping me obsessed with these stupid subjects. Okay? I would have gotten over them a lot quicker had I not made all these stupid videos that are getting the most views of anything on my channel. Okay, and what I'd like to talk about in this video, I'm finally getting around to it. I want to talk about, you know, just a number of things, just to reiterate, you know, the things I've made silent videos about at my mom's house. You know, I just want to talk about how I really could not give a crap less about the fact that I am banned from 2 more websites as Little Master Points, because as I've stated before, the name is now obsolete in my life. Okay, Yahoo Answers, what is it going to be, 1 year or 2 years since they discontinued it? Just wow. Okay, I never thought that would ever happen. Okay, but so much of this fake identity online evolved around Yahoo Answers. You know, I had always thought I wanted to be male, but participating successfully in Yahoo Answers and reaching level 7 with this male avatar is what sort of, you know, like brought life to that persona. You know what I'm saying? gave it the breath of life, okay? And now that Yahoo Answers is discontinued, I no longer, I've had my hysterectomy and Yahoo Answers is discontinued. It's like I no longer feel that need anymore. It was amazing how, I created that account named Robert in 2007, and I got my hysterectomy in 2016, so that was what, 9 years later? Yeah. So, and it's like, it just all kind of fell apart. I always thought I would come out of my hysterectomy, looking and sounding like a man, like so many others. But the irony that, a surgery that only women have ever gotten or will ever get, would make me more of a male, just made the whole thing fall apart, because it's like, how can this thing make me a male when it's as female only as having a baby? You know what I'm saying? Men don't get hysterectomies because they don't have a uterus in the first place. So I no longer want to be Robert or Little Master Points or anything of that nature. And it's like, I've just changed so much, and it's like, I just don't care that I've been banned. I could not possibly care less. In fact, I sort of did it on purpose on one of those sites. I'm not going to tell you which one. One of them, it was like I got banned because someone finally discovered something that I had posted, 2 or 3 years ago. And they reported it and got it removed, okay? Why they were looking for it is the bigger question, okay? And then the other site where I was also Little Master Points posting similar things of a similar nature on the same topic, well, I deliberately kind of said some things that I knew would get me banned from that one too. Because I am just, done with Little Master Points. I don't want to be that anymore. I'm not that online. I'm not that in real life. And you're just becoming ever more ridiculous the older I get. Now that I'm pushing 40 this summer, I will be 40. Oh my gosh. And I just don't want to be a 40-year-old, posting as Little Master anything. And Points, of course, is obsolete because Yahoo Answers no longer exists. Yahoo Answers is no more. Okay, so basically I just want to reiterate that and, just say that I have finally accepted that I'm a woman. And, I don't want to continue on in a trans identity and be at odds with the mother who likes to paint my nails. I just don't. And, the other thing, I just want to talk about is like being gas trained. That cannot be specified enough. I cannot say that enough, that I'm gas trained. I'm proud of it, it's part of who I am. And it's just so imperative, that I'm gas trained. I feel like potty training includes all 3 states of matter: solid, liquid, and last but not least, gas. And I will not be friends with anyone who tries to shame me for that, because I think what's shameful is to fart in your pants. You know what I'm saying? I just don't take risks like that. And that's one of the many reasons why I've decided that I don't have a male brain. You know what I'm saying? I'm not male at all. Men like to fart, and they don't care if they fart in their clothes. And I'm just becoming increasingly disturbed, by how common it is that boys and men fetishize diapers. And it's not because of the stupid reasons they come up with. It's because they simply potty train later than girls. And as a result, they have more fond memories of themselves in diapers as children. That's the real reason. It's because they're more likely to, potty train late and have accidents well into childhood, if not adolescence. They're more likely to wet their bed. And as a result, or they're more likely to know other kids, their own gender, who have those issues as well. That's another factor. Okay. And so because of that, they're more likely to fetishize diapers and want to wear them as adults. And it really makes me mad. Words cannot convey how infuriating it is that those very same people, that secretly want to go back to diapers and wear them as adults, adult men, those very same people, if they become dads, they don't want to change their own kids. They want to pretend like, oh, it's so gross. Oh, and a baby poops in a diaper. Well, guess who did it more often than girls when they were little? Guess who did it for a longer period of their childhood than girls? those very same people. You know, it's like if you let them, I think they'd graduate high school in diapers in many cases. So, you know, I don't want to be little master points. I don't want to be known as a male online or in the real world anymore. You know, I don't want to wreck my health, my hairline, and my complexion for what could end up being just a subtle change in voice. You know, that's the only thing I really long to have, you know, other than a flat chest that I don't have to hide, you know, is just a deeper voice. And as I've stated before, some men have deeper voices than others, so I wouldn't necessarily get that deep of a voice. So, you know, that's the only thing, you know, that I just really long to have, you know, about living as male, you know, as far as things that I could achieve on my own, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't become taller, so that's out of the question. So yeah, I mean, I just hate the fact that men are taken more seriously, you know, in spite of these contradictory things, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, the fact that they potty train later, they're more likely to fetishize diapers, they like to fart in their clothes, you know, they don't care if they poop in their clothes to the extent that a girl would or should, but yet the world still takes them more seriously, and it's nothing short of infuriating to me. You know, words cannot convey how angry it makes me feel inside to know that. And so, you know, I've sort of dropped this fake male persona because what I'm realizing is that the people who claim to be progressive, you know, are the very same people who want to enforce gender roles in a different way. You know what I'm saying? They want to say that, well, if you don't conform, you know, to what a stereotypical woman is or what a stereotypical man is, then you should try to change your sex in the eyes of the world. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're not a feminine girl, you know, you shouldn't just embrace that and say, oh, well, I'm a girl who isn't feminine. No, you should actually, you know, wreck your health just to achieve the appearance of maleness, the artificial appearance, I might add. So yeah, just don't want to be a guy, and I will always be gas trained. And I have no use, you know, for people who watch these stupid shows and want to silence me because they cannot accept what I'm saying. You know, each time someone silences me or tries to challenge me on that subject, that only makes me more confident in the fact that I'm right about what I've been saying. You know, it only boosts my confidence. It doesn't make me question, well, you know, did she really poop in her pants? You know, yeah, you know, Tommy, it could, no, F that literal S-H-I-T, okay? F that. Because as I've stated before, you know, I just keep making the same videos, which is why I'm kind of glad I won't be able to do it for much longer. It's like, as I've stated before, it doesn't add up. It makes absolute, well, for one thing, of course, they're not real people. You know, I've said that way too many times. But it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever, you know, for Nigel to have been referring to Tommy. You know, someone needs a diaper change, I won't say whom. Well, that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, you know, and people are just confirming what I believe, you know, with the fact that they want to silence me, ban me, delete my content, you know, because they don't have any valid argument against it. You know, they want to just, you know, point to this red herring. Oh, it could be Tommy. Well, you know what? Why is there more reason to believe it's Tommy than Dill? You know what I'm saying? If Tommy did it, you know, why does that necessarily mean that anyone else necessarily didn't? You know, they're not mutually exclusive. And it doesn't make any sense for it to be Tommy because that would just be normal. You know, that's just stupid. Because no one would expect Tommy not to use his diaper for its intended purpose. You know what I'm saying? You know, a 1-year-old pooping in a diaper isn't being gross. They're just being a 1-year-old. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying to a man, I won't tell anybody you pooped in a toilet today. Yeah, it would just be ridiculous. Like, what? You know, that would be like, you know, just a grown man, you know, taking a dump in the morning and someone saying to him, well, I'll help you keep it a secret that you pooped in the toilet this morning after breakfast. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You know, I mean, Tommy wouldn't be ashamed of it, is what I'm saying. You know, Tommy would not go around in an exposed diaper in every episode if he were ashamed of his bodily functions and what they force him to wear. You know what I'm saying? He's just a 1-year-old that can't talk. That is plainly obvious, by the end of the movie. So unless they're being sarcastic, if they truly cannot accept, that Angelica did or could have done it, then, I will know that they're like Deeker. They have a problem with girls messing themselves in any way, shape, or form. They don't want to believe that women have bowel movements, let alone, that even a little girl, could poop on herself. So as I stated before, what they would have to prove to me is they would have to show me a scene where she pulls down her pants and proves that they're clean. That's what I would have to see. Not it was some other character, so it couldn't have been her. Well, that doesn't make any sense because they're not mutually exclusive. A 1-year-old doesn't feel shame, and it wouldn't be a secret. And because it wouldn't be the comeuppance, you know what I'm saying? Every single episode, just about. She is a villain, and she gets her comeuppance by the end. And it's the same way with Lars on Rocket Power, and it's the same way with Cedric on Sophia the First and all those other stupid villains. Okay? It's like the villain does something, during or throughout the whole movie or episode or whatnot. And at the end, they get their comeuppance, their just reward. Okay, well, Tommy doing it would not be her comeuppance, because it would affect all of them equally. You know what I'm saying? Tommy doing it and her having to smell it, it wouldn't make any sense because, that would punish Susie, it would punish Nigel, which really, as I've stated before, what I believe, in my heart of hearts is that they all did it, okay? They all needed a diaper change. I mean, what idiot would think that after running around on an island, just the amount of sweat that you would produce would force you to be changed or, bathe or shower or whatnot. So I believe that they all needed a diaper change, but that the one who was ashamed of it would be her. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for all I know, Nigel really could have been referring to himself, but then she took it to mean her because she knew she needed a diaper change or she needed to be changed and she was ashamed of it. You see, that's the difference between her and the other characters is the younger kids are not ashamed of it. Okay? And I mean, it couldn't be more plainly obvious. So anybody that's trying to throw me off like that, they have an agenda. They're trying to protect somebody. I don't know who they're trying to protect. Or, you can tell a lot more about someone by what they refuse to believe than by what they do believe. Because in my case, I mean, I couldn't possibly care less. If Tommy used his diaper for its intended purpose at 1-year-old, there are 5 letters to describe how I feel about it. IDGAF. G is forgive. Okay, so I couldn't possibly care less. Okay, I have no problem with believing that Tommy did it. What I have a problem with is people saying that Angelica didn't, or that because of that, Angelica didn't. It just doesn't add up. So yeah, I mean, that would be like saying, in the episodes where Lars did it, or, things like that. Like, that would be like saying, if I said something to the effect, let's just make it about something other than pooping. I said something to the effect of one of my favorite Rocket Power episodes is Womp Race because Lars gets all scraped up and somebody were to say, no, he did not get scraped up. No, he wasn't. Otto did, or, Sammy did. You know what I'm saying? Saying that he was not scraped up because the other kids were. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense. Or, saying I like the episode Typhoid Sam, because Lars ends up vomiting near the end. See, that's his comeuppance, just like Angelica vomiting in those episodes. It's always a comeuppance, when a villain has problems like that. You know what I'm saying? If I said, like, I like the one Typhoid Sam, because that's the one where Lars vomited near the end, and somebody were to say, no, he didn't. Otto did, and Sammy did, or, something like that, therefore he didn't. Well, that doesn't make any sense because they're not mutually exclusive. You know what I'm saying? It would be like me saying, like, he got the poop scared out of him in the one called Netherworld Night, and you were to say, no, he didn't. Pie did, or Sputs did, which I couldn't possibly care less, because their name doesn't rhyme with my favorite planet, Mars. And because, they're not Lars Rodriguez. I'm not freaking obsessed with them for whatever reason. They're not the main antagonist. They don't wear purple, which is one of my favorite colors. So yeah, it just really makes me mad. These people throwing me off like that, gaslighting me. but it's going to come to an end very soon. And, you know, a part of me wishes I could just remove all my content online about all those subject matters, you know, from Twitter, from YouTube, from all the sites that I posted it to. You know, because people really do change over time, and you look back on your old content and you find it cringy, and you're like, why was I so obsessed with that? You know, what does that look like to other people? Are people going to think I have a diaper fetish, you know, because I'm into that, which I absolutely don't, okay? That cannot be emphasized enough. See, that would be the real issue. And I don't really care, you know, if people want to deny or delete my contributions and all that. What would really hurt is if they thought that I had ever done that myself, okay? Because then I couldn't be superior to such characters who've done it, okay? So, you know, that's why I don't allow comments on a lot of these videos. So anyway, I'm just, you know, starting to worry, you know, what if people look at that and think that I have some kind of a poop fetish or a diaper fetish, which to an extent, I have a fetish about, you know, I especially like to see antagonists suffer, which I find they don't suffer enough in children's shows and movies and cartoons and all. I feel like the antagonist does not suffer enough. It's too much about the protagonist winning and not enough about the antagonist suffering. You know what I'm saying? They don't suffer enough. You know, not winning a trophy is just not enough suffering for me. You know, I'd much rather see the antagonist leave on a stretcher to go to the hospital than the protagonist win a trophy. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, you know, children's cartoons are just too much about Otto wins a trophy and not enough about Lars gets carried away on a stretcher to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? The antagonist just doesn't freaking suffer enough. You know, the protagonist suffers just as much, if not more so. And they get more screen time, so you see more of their suffering. It just really makes me mad. So anyway, just done with that subject matter, done with these videos, and I really wish my life could go in a better direction.